Yo, what's up, you guys? As you know, I like to do these picture me rolling episodes because when I'm driving, I'm thinking about, stuff related to training, how I can make it, better for my clients, the struggles that people go through, trying to put myself in other people's shoes, because a lot of struggles, a lot of different people face. And so in my observations, this has always been a struggle for a lot of people, but for some it tends to be an even greater struggle. And what I'm referring to is life circumstances or situations that make it tough for you to stay in the game, right? Because ideally, we know that you can't work out for a day or a week or a month or 10, 12 years and think that you can retire from working out. Your fitness and your lifestyle, just that. That's why diets are not fad diets that are high maintenance, that don't work for your lifestyle and your discipline and consistency level are not good. Like if you want to you're talking about doing like a keto diet or something like that, if you're not the type of person who can adhere to strict principles like that for long periods of time, then it's probably not for you. Some of these fad diets where you got to cycle on and off and do all that stuff, that's temporary stuff. So you always want to start with something that's a lifestyle change first. Don't jump into something extreme. And that includes your workout program. You want to do something that you can do continuously for the long haul. Extreme workout programs, I'm not going to say any names, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It'll be easy for you to get hurt, knock yourself out, and then you won't be able to, do that exercise, so you end up doing nothing. But anyway, the focus of this video is on how to stay in the game, how to keep yourself from being that person who works out for a few weeks or a few months and then falls off the wagon for a few weeks or a few months or a few years, all right? And it starts with your mindset going into it. So your mindset going into it has got to be that I'm making a lifestyle change for my health and my longevity. If you start off like, I want to look better, that's something that's temporary and it's fleeting, and it's not something that you can really hang your hat on. If you're working out, you're getting healthier, you're staying healthier, you're continuously working out, you're going to only get to a certain point in terms of your looks, and then that motivation is going to run out. Either you're going to run out of ability and effort level to get better looking, or you're going to reach the plateau that you're not willing to go across, or you're just going to lose interest. Like you're going to be like, oh well, I got my goal, I'm good now with my weight or whatever it may be, and then you'll just lose your motivation. But as long as your motivation is your health, that's something that you can never permanently just get to a goal and stay there forever. So you gotta, you have to continue to work at it in order for you to continue to remain healthy. It only takes a couple weeks for you to lose your cardiovascular conditioning. Now, you increase your risk for heart disease. And, there are a lot of people who were in great shape when they were younger and then they got out of it. Now they're just complete, and you might be one of those, complete couch potato. You might have been in great shape at one point in your life, and then, you just kind of fell off the wagon. So your mindset has got to be on the right thing once you get into it. Secondly, don't always focus on improving, all right? Sometimes it's okay to hold a status quo. You can't improve all year round all the time. You got to pick your times to really focus on honing in and being at your tip-top level. So you want to pick your peaking seasons. So for me, I usually have two. My peak season is going to be like sometime around the spring, going into summer, when the weather starts to warm up. And then usually I try to peak around the fall, like right around now, later in the year. And that is because I don't want to go in kind of a steady state cruise control mode from like the end of the summer all the way to the next year, because that's too many months of just being in cruise control. Now that doesn't mean that I don't get some really hard, excruciating workouts in, but I'm not like pinpoint on everything that I'm eating. I'm not like all that discipline the whole time, because you just can't maintain it. Like, you can't maintain extreme levels of discipline for long periods of time, for most of us, unless you're like a special breed of person. So keep that in mind when you're trying to focus. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to constantly improve. Be okay, doing some easy workouts. Give your body a chance to recover. Like, when you're working out really hard, whether it's weights or running, you're putting in a lot of miles, you gotta have some time where you take it easy on that. And even if that's going to something else that's not your bread and butter for your workout program. So if you're a runner, go to doing boot camp or cross training. Go to do kickboxing. Go to do spinning class or swimming. Go to do weightlifting. And vice versa if you're in one of these other groups. Something that'll get your mind out of the mundanity of doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you've kind of burnt yourself out on one thing. That's why I say to do everything, because when you're doing everything on a consistent basis, nothing wears you out. Because you're like, oh man, I ran today, I lift weights tomorrow, I do kickboxing on the next day. So those are some good ideas to help keep it fresh. Yeah, you keep your bread and butter, and that's your primary focus, but you got to have your go-to things when you get that stress fracture from running, or you got a shoulder issue from lifting too heavy. You got to have something else to go to, or else you find yourself sitting down. And that's not what you want. You don't want to be sitting down for too long, because a couple days turns into a couple weeks, turns into a couple months, turns into a couple years. Okay, so be okay doing that. The other thing is time. Your hours in the gym. Like, you may not be able to all the time go for 5-6 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, life circumstances happen. You may get a new job and have to commute further. Your job, somebody may get laid off on your job. You got extra work. You got to stay late and do extra hours. You may have a baby. I got a baby on the way. I know it's going to affect my lifestyle some, but I'm trying to prepare myself mentally. You may have a newborn in the house, and your sleep is all jacked up. So we have our 4 principles: our rest, our stress, our sleep, and our fitness. You get a newborn in the house, it's gonna mess up at least one of those, the sleep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 2. Your eating habits might get jacked up because you got so much work going into the baby that you don't have the energy or time to prepare your meals, so you found yourself eating out more. So it could mess up more than that, and it could interfere with your fitness as well, and your stress levels. So all of those things now have been affected by, it could be work, it could be your personal life, a tragedy in your life, a newborn, a child. It could be a number of things. So the point I'm trying to make is that now you may have to focus on minimalizing your fitness. So what can I do just to keep the habit? Because you don't want to get out of the habit. That's the biggest thing. Don't allow yourself to get out of the game. Don't allow yourself to go sit on the sidelines and watch from the sidelines. So if that's 2 days a week, if that's 1 day a week where you got a couple hours to go invest into your health and wellness, it's going to help with your energy levels. It's going to help you to sleep better. It's going to help relieve some stress, and it's actually going to help you. So if the minimum is 1 day a week that you can go in there and get an hour of working out in, try to get 2 you can maintain on 2 days a week. You really can, if you can put an hour in. Or if it's 15 minutes a day, a workout, do 15 minutes a day every day. Get up, do 15 minutes, walk around the block, do something around the house, walk up down the stairs 10 or 15 times, do something. You know what I'm saying? 15 minutes a day, so that you don't lose your habit. You don't want to get out of it completely to where you haven't even thought about it in like a couple weeks. Once it gets out of mind, then it's just completely gone until you reach that oh man moment. You look in the mirror or you get on the scale, and now everything's all jacked up. Speaking of the scale is, and there's so many people that tell people not to get on the scale, but yet people are still getting fatter. I tell people to get on the scale. It's for self-accountability, because every time you get on that scale, it's going to be honest with you. Your expectations should not be too high. You get on that scale because it's going to tell you the truth. Get on the same scale every day, gonna tell you the truth. So you gotta have that threshold where you don't allow yourself to go past. And don't have expectations. Like when you're focused, don't have high expectations to lose a pound a day, because that doesn't happen. You might lose a 0.2 of a pound. That's a successful day. 0.2 of a pound over the course of 7 days is 1.4 pounds, is over the course of a month is 5 pounds, 5 to 6 pounds. So don't go in there with big eyes. And if you got one of those scales that's not digital, it's even harder to differentiate between, you know, whether you're making progress or not. And, you know, obviously the weekends is important, but that's, you know, that's for the other videos about weight. But, you know, the scale is just you keeping a case study on yourself to see what's working and what's not, and so that you don't just get into oblivion. You get on that scale and it shows you that you done gained 10 pounds in the last month, it's gonna keep that thing on your mind. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with facing accountability. People now try to avoid it, try to blame it on everything else. Oh, it's okay, you know, I had a baby, you know, I can keep growing, keep the baby fat. You don't have to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. So utilize these tools to help keep you on track, to help you do something. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay in the habit, and don't like intermingle stuff. Like you got to have dedicated workout time, even if that's 15 minutes. You know, do a workout at your house. I got workout videos on YouTube that you can use. Do one of the short videos. That's why I made them 10 to 15 minutes long. It's for beginners. It's for people who have gotten themselves off course and need to get back on track. That's why I do the 10 to 15 minute videos, because 10 to 15 minutes, you have that much time. You can find that much time in a day. There's hardly anybody I know who can't spare 15 minutes in their day to get up and do a workout. You know, while your baby's napping. You know, if you're a stay-at-home mom or working parent, get out there and do a workout. If you got a little extra time, go ahead and do it. So these are just some tips to keep you in the game, because once you get out of the game, it's so much harder to get back in. You're like, oh, I put in all that time, and psychologically, it just makes it that much harder to get yourself back into it. And I understand those things, you know, and what, you know, people face on a regular basis. But you got to combat it. You got to face it, man. You got to face your struggles head on. You got to face your struggles head on and attack them, and continue to keep yourself and your health as a priority. Keep it as top of mind. That's another thing why getting on the scale is important, because it keeps it at the top of your mind. Because like I said, and once it's out of your mind, then next thing you know, you look up, you done gained 35, 40 pounds, and you haven't been paying attention. You know, you notice that your clothes might fit a little snug, and then you tune out for another 5, 6 weeks or 2 months, or, you know, 3, 4 months, and then next thing you know, that's 50 pounds. So the goal here is to stay in the game. Keep yourself moving, stay active. All right, have some other go-to type workouts, video workouts. There's a million workouts on YouTube that you can do something. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of nutrition advice, diet advice. Don't just give up on your eating habits. Kids are going to want to eat junk, so you got to have a backup plan. Though, you know, I don't think you should be feeding your kids a bunch of junk just to pacify them, but because all you're doing is feeding into the addiction that they're going to have later in life. So don't feed them all that sugar and get them hooked on it. And because you'll be doing yourself a favor. If you give them all that sugar, then they're bouncing off the walls all night. So do yourself a favor and cool down on feeding them all the junk food and the sugary stuff. All right, so hope these videos are helpful for you guys. Feel free, please like the video, subscribe, because I'm always putting out new videos. But like I said, stay in the game. Oh, and if you get injured, all right, if you get an injury, let's say you're a runner, you get a shin splint injury, you can't run at all, go lift weights. That's why you got to have that backup plan. Go swimming, do something. You know what I'm saying? If you get an injury, your workouts may be for a couple of months actually working on getting yourself uninjured, like getting yourself healed. While you're getting yourself healed, don't just do nothing. That's why you need balance to your fitness regimen. So those videos kind of dark, and I'm kind of dark, so but you can hear what I'm saying. Anyways, I will holler at you guys in the next video. Stay fit, stay firm, body firm family. Peace out. Peace.